After every meal, Samuel and his partner Kayla deal with the same funny situation. Even if Samuel is super full, he still wants something sweet. And until he gets that dessert, he's just not satisfied.
Dessert time. What do you say to some chocolate cake?
I don't think so. It's really not healthy after a big meal.
But the moment he takes that first bite, boom, he's happy. Like now the meal is officially complete. But why does this even happen? What's going on in some of our bodies that makes us feel like we need dessert after a full meal? And is this habit actually good or bad? This is Samuel, and just like so many people, he has to eat something sweet after every meal. He swears it's good for digestion, but his partner definitely doesn't agree with that idea.
Dessert is great after a meal. It really helps with digestion.
No way, that's totally wrong. Dessert is definitely not good for you.
So, before we jump into anyone's non-expert opinions, let's see what's actually going on from a science-based point of view. In his first round of research, Samuel found out that, like always, scientists ran experiments on poor little mice. And what did they discover? The same neurons that are supposed to tell us we're full are also the ones that get activated when we crave something sweet. So yeah, part of this whole I need dessert thing actually has a neural basis. We still don't really know why these two pathways overlap, but one idea is this. Sugar turns into usable energy way faster than fats or proteins. So if you've eaten a full meal, but your body still feels like the energy tank isn't topped up, those neurons basically go, only sugar can fix this. Time to call in the sweet stuff.
Some candy.
But of course, this was just the result of animal studies, and it wasn't convincing enough for Samuel and Kayla. So they decided to talk to a nutrition expert next. Catherine, the nutrition expert, had a few more ideas about why we crave sweets after a meal. For example, she said sometimes the meal we just ate didn't have enough protein, healthy fats, carbs, or even something she calls vitamin P. And you might be thinking, wait, what even is vitamin P? Well, Catherine says it stands for pleasure. Basically, enjoying the taste of your food is actually a big part of feeling satisfied, and it can seriously reduce those post-meal cravings. But Kayla says the real problem is this. When Samuel eats something really delicious and gets a big hit of that vitamin P, that's exactly when he realizes how good it feels. And then he just wants more food afterward. So maybe there's another reason behind all this. Samuel and Kayla are starting to suspect something a little more serious, something you might want to check in yourself too. So let's go with them and see what Dr. Samaya has to say. Dr. Samaya says that craving something sweet after a meal usually isn't about brain wiring issues or emotional stress. It might actually be connected to insulin resistance or leptin resistance. But what are those, and how do they even happen? To understand this better, let's first look at what normally happens in a healthy body after we eat. Think of insulin as the key to our cells. Actually, not even a key, more like someone who owns the house and doesn't even need to knock. When we eat, especially carbs, our blood sugar goes up. It's like suddenly having a bunch of new guests waiting outside. So the pancreas jumps in and releases insulin. Insulin goes to the cells, opens the door, and lets the sugar in. Once the sugar enters the cells, it gets turned into energy. And then, just like that, blood sugar goes back to normal. The result? We have energy, we feel satisfied, and we're not running around saying, I need something sweet right now. But when your body has too much body fat, high stress, low physical activity, hormone imbalances, a high-carb diet, or a bunch of other factors, that's when insulin resistance can show up. So what happens then? It's like the doors on your cells are broken. Insulin is still there, but the key doesn't turn in the lock anymore. So the sugar just hangs out in your bloodstream because the cells aren't opening up to let it in. As a result, your blood sugar stays high, but your body still feels low on energy because the sugar never actually made it into the cells. And that's exactly when you start craving sweets after a full meal. Your body thinks, hey, I didn't get enough energy. Let's get some sugar. Meanwhile, the pancreas is like, something's not right, and releases even more insulin. But the cells keep resisting, the doors stay closed, and the cycle repeats. That's what we call insulin resistance. So one of the signs of insulin resistance, for Samuel, and honestly for any of us, can be this constant craving for something sweet right after a meal. Dr. Samaya also told Samuel that if he feels super sleepy after eating and he has abdominal fat, then it's definitely time for a blood test to see what's going on. But Kayla wanted solutions, so she asked the doctor, "Okay, let's say someone does have insulin resistance. What should they do?" Dr. Samaya gave 3 important suggestions. 1. Strength training at least 3 times a week. The more muscle you have, the better your body becomes at using glucose for energy. 2. Intermittent fasting. Fasting lowers fasting insulin levels and can help reduce insulin resistance over time. 3. Choosing foods based on their insulin index. Foods like eggs, fish, cheese, and nuts trigger lower insulin release, while sweets and refined white bread cause a much higher insulin spike. But if you remember, the doctor mentioned one more thing besides insulin resistance, something Kayla definitely didn't forget: leptin resistance. Leptin is basically your fullness hormone. Its job is simple. Your body fat produces leptin, leptin travels to your brain, and it tells your brain, "Hey, we're full, stop eating." But when leptin resistance happens, it's like the brain and leptin lose connection. The message never gets delivered. Your body has leptin, usually a lot of it, especially if body fat is high, but the brain isn't getting the signal. It's like the brain put its phone on silent, and no matter how many messages leptin sends, nothing gets through. So the brain thinks you're not full, and you keep eating. And when you eat a lot of sugar or fast food regularly, this communication system between leptin and the brain gets disrupted pretty quickly and can even get damaged over time. Samuel figured the solution for this must be similar to insulin resistance, things like exercising and eating better. And the doctor agreed, but she added a few more important points. She told him he needs to make sure he's eating enough protein, getting proper sleep, managing his stress, and avoiding constant snacking throughout the day. All of these play a big role in helping the body respond to leptin the way it's supposed to. So now Samuel is left with his old theory, the one where he thought dessert helps with digestion. Yeah, we can officially say that's just a myth.
I have to admit it. You were right all along.
I know.
And of course, Kayla was right the whole time. She just wanted him to stay healthy. Looks like it's finally time for Samuel to take a good look at his lifestyle. A few small changes might be exactly what he needs. And maybe, just maybe, he doesn't need dessert after every single meal. And honestly, if you ever feel the same way Samuel does, maybe it's your body trying to tell you something too.
Goodbye. See you later.